Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Akhandam Satchidanandam Avangmanasa Gocharam Atmanam Akhiladharam Ashraye Bhishta Siddhaye Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति. We were looking at the different types of karma and also what is upasana in this. Upasana is a manasa vyapara, means mental activity, for which the subject matter is saguna brahma. Saguna brahma vishaya manasa vyapara rupani is the upasanani. Like this, here you can see the author is defining this. So we discuss this in detail. In different Upanishads itself, there are upasanas which are prescribed. For example, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Shikshavalli, in Brihadaranyaka also there are different upasanas are given. In Chandogya, actually the first 5 chapters, lot of upasanas are there. In fact, the example which is given here is Shandilya Vidyadini. Shandilya Vidya is the most famous because it has that vakya sarvam khalvidam brahma. So you have to do upasana that all that is here is Brahman. So that's why the author has specifically mentioned that, but etc. also he gives Shandilya Vidyadi. Therefore, other Vidyas, there are many other Vidyas which are there in different Upanishads, Panchagni Vidya, like that, Dahara Vidya. So all these upasanas one has to do. Now, why should we do all this karma and upasana? Because upasana also is mental activity. In general, other karma means it is also involving physical activity. Correct? Or vachikam karma also is there. So when we look at karma, there are 3 ways we can look at it. One is manasam karma, mental activities alone. Another is vachikam, means mind also must be involved. But sometimes, in fact, when we are chanting something, it is only muscle memory of the mouth. Mind will go somewhere else. That is also possible. But generally, chanting means both mind and your speech as an organ is involved. Then we say kayikam karma. Means all 3 are involved in kayikam karma. If you are doing a puja or a homa, yajna. Now all the karma phalas are finite. They are limited. And as a mumukshu, I am not interested in limited results. Then why should I do all this karma? Why can't I leave everything just like that and sit somewhere? All this nonsense, why should I tolerate? This kind of a question is there. In fact, many people even take it very lightly. They think that it is very easy. In one way, Atma Vidya is easy. I don't deny that. It is actually Ati Sulabham, like that. Ramana used to sing, they say that. Ayye Mettakadinam, like that. There is a song in Tamil. Okay. It's very difficult to have darshana of the Lord at Chidambara. So there is a song, it is very difficult to go to Chidambaram and have darshan of Nataraja there. But then as a changing that it's not very difficult like that, Ramana used to sing. They say, Ayye ati sulabham, Atma Vidya ayye ati sulabham. So it is very easy. This Atma Vidya is really very easy. In one way it is true. But it is very easy if you are already qualified for that. In fact, it is the only knowledge which you can know completely. All other objective knowledge, it's all incomplete. You can never know anything fully. Only a few more questions I have to ask. Why? In fact, if I keep repeating why, you have to stop somewhere. You don't know. I don't know why it is like this. The why can go only so many times, correct? So any objective knowledge, if you take knowledge of a flower, means flower is having this color, it is having this kind of petals, this kind of stem, everything you can study. Then further you study something, why it is having that color, means some pigment is there. Why this pigment has come here, then some reason is there. Like that you can keep on studying the flower, but you cannot know that completely, because you can keep on bringing in more names. In each and every name and form, more names and forms are there. Namni namani, like this my Guruji used to say, Dayananji. Namni namani means what? In names there are more names, more names, more names. It is endless. So you take a flower, flower can be broken down into its parts. Then further you look at it, you have to go, you say these are all different enzymes, pigments, chemicals, whatever. And then these chemicals are all molecules, they are all atoms, they are all subatomic particles. Like that you can keep on going. There is no end to that. There is no definitive knowledge. Even scientists do not know how all these quantum particles, they are collapsed, they call it, how they collapse from there is a transcendental equation, they say. Even they talk about a transcendental, the quantum equation is really transcendental. How does it collapse is a big question, not very clear. So any objective knowledge is not complete, but self knowledge is the only thing you can know completely, because it is partless whole. There are no parts to the self. It is nishkala, correct? Nirguna. It doesn't have any parts. Self is a partless whole, and it is myself already. It is the easiest thing to know. But with respect to the self only, there is the greatest confusion also, because we associate the self with the not self. That which I see can never be I, correct? It's a very, very simple logic. It's nothing great. The logic here is whatever I see is not I, because I am the seer. I am the subject who is objectifying something and knowing, let us say. So the object of knowledge can never be the subject, because I am the subject. I am the seer. If that is so, how can I take myself as this body? So simplest thing, correct? I see the body, or you can say I see my body, but I take it as I. I feel my physiological processes, hunger, thirst, so many other things which are happening. Still I place the I on all of them. I see whether my sense organs are working or not, correct? In fact, I am the seer of sight, hearer of hearing, like this Upanishad also says. Why does it say that? Because I only know whether my sense organs are working or not. I am really the seer of sight. Even in the Upanishad also it is said like that, different Upanishads. Drishte drashtaram, like this Brihadaranyaka says. And Keno Upanishad very famously says, Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manaha Vachoha Vacham Sau Pranasya Pranaha Chakshusha Chakshuhu. Like this. So you are the ear of the ear, mind of the mind, eye of the eye. Like this it keeps on going. What is the meaning of that? You are the one who knows, to whom everything becomes evident. Whether the body is functioning, whether the prana is functioning, whether all the sense organs are functioning, and whatever is happening in the mind also. All the thoughts are evident to you. If everything is becoming evident to you, you are the knower. subject, and whatever is known to you can never be I. It's a very simple teaching, but not very easy to grasp and hold on to. We grasp the teaching. When I tell you, it is not very difficult to understand, but still the association with the body mind sense complex is strong. It is there. It is there, and it has been conditioned also. Society has conditioned you to look upon the body mind sense complex as I. That's how you have grown up. And breaking that means you have to actually start from karma only. Why? Because by doing karma with the right attitude, then only you prepare yourself. There has to be a certain pakwa, correct? Maturity, we call it. So karma is still important, but you should leave out kamya karma and nishiddha karma. Already we saw. Leaving the kamya and nishiddha, all other things which are in the karma kanda are all sadhana only. Even for they are all jnana sadhana. Jnana is moksha sadhana. The means for jnanam, karma has a very important place. Nitya anushtanam. Every day you are supposed to do certain things. Those are all important. And jnanam is the means for freedom from all limitations, moksha. So we have to do karma. Through that only we gain certain purity. That is said here. Etesham nityadhinam buddhi shuddhihi param prayojanam. So what is the use of all this karma? Nitya karma, naimitika karma, upasana, prayaschitta karma, all these things you are talking about. They are for purifying yourself. Correct? In fact, you have to purify yourself means what is the impurity? Already I have talked to you about it. Impurity, there are many impurities are there. We are subjected to kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. These are called 6 enemies of oneself. Kama means desire, longing, you can say, binding desires. Krodha is anger. Lobha is greed. Moha is delusion. Mada is pride. Matsarya is jealousy. All these things are born because you think you are a limited being. Is that clear? The implication of any of these six things is that what is the implication? If you have kama means, why do you even have kama? Because you think you are wanting, you do not have something. Therefore, I have to get something to make myself complete, full, purna. Correct? I am apurna. I am lacking something. That is the implication. If any of these 6 are there means it implies that you are a limited being. But what is the teaching? The teaching is that you are the limitless. That is the teaching of Vedanta. The Atma, which is available in this body, mind, sense complex, is nothing but Paramatma, the limitless self, which is the cause of this whole Srishti, including my body, mind, sense complex. So, to understand this, first you have to get out of all these things. These impurities have to go. For the impurities to go, how do I purify means you have to still do karma because you are forced to do that by nature. You cannot be there without doing karma. Bhagavan says in the 3rd chapter of Gita also, you have to do karma, correct? You cannot be sitting there. Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtatye akarma krite karyate hi avashah karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi, he says. So avashaha, being avashaha, it's not even in my control. I am as though I am impelled by something, I am doing things. This many people say, those who do some knowingly, if they do wrong also, they say that I did it because it's as though I was forced into it by some force. Some force is impelling me from within me, all that. So you will do by your very nature, by all the conditioning which you have had till now, you will do or you have to do karma. If that is the case, then what? Yajna dana tapah karma natyajyam. Bhagavan again in Gita and in some many other places also, you have to do karma, nitya, naimitika, prayaschitta, but change the attitude. You are a mumukshu, therefore you are not doing the karma itself for limited results. There is the yoga buddhi. What is the yoga buddhi now? You still do the karma, but my attitude has changed. I am not doing it for any limited results, thinking that it is going to make me happy or sad or whatever. I am doing it because I have to do it. This is my duty. In my given situation, I have to do this. And by doing like with that attitude, what happens? You are getting freed from your likes and dislikes. Because all our conflicts, problems come because whatever I like and whatever I dislike are not in keeping with what is right and what is wrong in a given situation. If you are able to align that, if you are able to do the right thing in spite of your likes and dislikes in a given situation, then you have certain mastery over your own likes and dislikes. Karma is the root of all other maladies, correct? The unfulfilled desire only leads to anger, or the great desire to achieve something, to gain something, and if you are ready to do adharma for that, do anything, then it becomes greed. Kama only becomes greed. If you are ready to do adharma, then it becomes greed. And if you go into anger because something is not fulfilled, you will also be deluded because all your knowledge is not available. When you are emotionally unstable, angry, you are in pain, sorrow, knowledge is not available. You are deluded, moha. And even if you have achieved something, you have pride, arrogance. So even if fulfilled, karma is a problem for some people. And if it is fulfilled for somebody else, you want something desperately, but your neighbor got it. Then jealousy, matsarya. So if you see all these things, the shad ripu, karma is the root. That is why you have to have a mastery over your own likes and dislikes. And how do I gain this mastery? By doing my nitya naimittika prayaschitta karma with a certain attitude of yoga buddhi. And once you gain the mastery over your likes and dislikes, means you are now pure. Your antakarana is pure. Correct? So that is why karma has a very important role to play. Whatever karma has been mandated for you as your duty, you have to do it. It cannot be given up. Natyajyam. And along with this, upasana also. Manasam karma what? Upasananantu chitta ekagryam. Correct? Here. Upasananantu chitta ekagryam. And upasana, why do we do? So we say karma with yoga buddhi is for chitta shuddhi. Upasana is for having one-pointedness, concentration, focus. Ekagryam, because this knowledge this self-knowledge also, you get it as an insight. You attend the classes, Shravana Manana, you do. You have clarity. Still, it has to be repeated, recollected to make it available to you all the time, because your self-identity has to transform. This transformation is not a simple, easy process, because your new insight, this knowledge has to overpower habitual tendencies which are coming across, I don't know, multiple janmas, correct? So it requires some effort there also. So the upasana, if you already do and if you have a certain mental disposition, then it is easier. Nididhyasana also becomes easier. The upasana later on becomes nididhyasana, the recollection of the teaching, so that the teaching will actually transform you, and then your self identity is no more hostage to your habitual tendencies. So both these things are important, karma and upasana, so that you can gain chitta shuddhi and chitta ekagriya. And then this author also quotes the Upanishads wherever he is giving you some information. It is not that it is his own something he is saying. So he is now showing you that this is there in Brihadaranyaka also. Tam etam atmanam vedanu vachanena brahmana vividishanti yajnena danena tapasa anashakena. Like that, it's a very, very famous Brihadaranyaka vakya. So this Atma, in fact, before this, the Atma is talked about in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that it is the Sarvavashi. So the nature of the Atma itself is talked about. Many, many words are used there in 4.4.22 if you go and see. Then that Atma, how do I know? Or how do I desire to know? Because this is the great Atma, correct? If Atma is the limitless, that is what I want to know. All other things I am not really interested. So the desire to know has to be there. And how do I know, or how do I even know about this Atma to start with? Means you should have studied the Veda. Veda only is giving you this knowledge, correct? Veda is the only means of knowledge to know this self. The Pratyaksha, the other Pramanas are only revealing to you the objective world. They cannot reveal to you the true nature of your self. So Veda only is talking about the Atma, that initially some at least superficial knowledge you have to gain. For that you have to do Veda Adhyanam, or at least you have to study Puranas, Itihasas, which are also talking about the same thing, correct? So you have knowledge. So mantra brahmana adhyayanena, like that Bhashyakara says, Vedanuvachanena means you do Veda Adhyanam. In the Veda Adhyanam, you memorize everything, all the mantras, meaning also superficially you are supposed to know. And Brahmanaha here means not just Brahmana Jati, it is only an Upalakshana, like this Bhashyakara says, because for this moksha, the qualifications which we are talking about, you can see these qualifications can be there in other Varna people also. Or Brahmanaha means those who are interested to know Brahman, like that also we can take. Or the Vedanu Vachanena Vividishanti, you can take. Brahmana can also be taken as Mantra Brahmana also. There is another reading of that. So, by doing Veda Dhyanam and having some knowledge, based on that, you have now a desire to know. And then what you do? Yajnena, Dhanena, Tapasa also is there. Anashakena means not eating. Means all this Upavasa, etc. Yajna Dana Tapah Karma Natyajyam. Also Bhagavan says in Gita, this Yajna, Dana and Tapas and all you should not leave. You have to do Brahma Yajna, Nitya. We say there are 5 different things you have to do every day. We have discussed that already, correct? Pancha Maha Yajna. So Yajna means Deva Yajna, Pitri Yajna, Rishi Yajna, Manushya Yajna, Bhuta Yajna, all these things. Danam, you have to give. By giving, in fact, how do I give? In Shraddhaya Deyam. You have to give with Shraddha, that whatever I am giving will help the other person. Ashraddhaya Adeyam, like that. Taittiriya Upanishad says. Correct? Also in Gita, also Bhagavan talks about Dana. Okay, so he says what Sattvika Dana, Rajasika Dana and all that is there. Tamasika Dana. So Sattvika Dana means what? You give because it has to be given. Tatavyam iti yaddanam diyate anupakarine. Like Tatavyam iti yaddanam. Deshe kale cha patre cha. Desha kala patra. So you, in a particular place, in a particular time, and whoever, if the needy person is there, you have to give Datavyam because it has to be given without really expecting anything in result. You have to give. You have to give even if the other person is not even able to tell you thank you. Pujya Swamiji, my Guruji used to say that the help you are giving to those who are not even able to thank you back, that is the greatest, because you don't even expect that thank you also in return. You are giving because it has to be given. Datavyam is the main thing. In the given situation, I have to give, means I give. Like that you give. And tapas, in fact, here this author is quoting Manu, correct? Ityadi shrutehe, then tapasa kalmasham hanti. Even in the Brihadaranyaka Shruti also tapas is there. Yajnena danena tapasa anashakena is there. Tapas. What is tapas? If you read Purana and all that, you can see, correct? Dhruva did tapas. Devi did tapas. So many rishis did tapas. Such tapas and all we cannot do. They say that they were without food, without water, or they were having only some one leaf every day, and like that they did tapas for so many months, so many years, thousands of years and all that. Can we do all that? What is the tapas I can do? Means there also Taittiriya Upanishad is there, correct? Taittiriya Upanishad itself tells you what is tapas. Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. Swadhyaya and pravachana. Every day you have to do swadhyaya. Correct? Ritancha swadhyaya pravachanecha, satyancha swadhyaya pravachane,cha tapascha swadhyaya pravachane,cha. Like that, you go and see there. Satyamiti satyavacharathi taraha, tapo iti tapo nishtah paurishishtihi, swadhyaya pravachane yeveti nako maudgalyaha. Now, 3 things are specially said, like that Bhashyakara says there. Satyamiti satyavacha, satyavachas, telling the truth. Because as a mumukshu, as a jijnasu, you don't have to gain anything by telling some lie and all that, correct? You are beyond that. You don't have to say asatya and accomplish something. Satyavachas. Then tapas itself you have to do. Like whatever traditionally understood austerities, correct? We understand that you are some kind of a upavasa. Different types of tapas is there. And then, but for a mumukshu, swadhyaya pravachane yeveti nako maudgalyaha. Maudgalyaha Nakaha. He says, this Rishi says. Rathitara says, Satyavachas. Paurishishti, he means the son of Purushishta. That Rishi is saying, do tapas. Because every day he is doing some tapas. And Maudgalya says, Swadhyaya Pravachana. For a mumukshu, every day you have to study. And if you can teach, you teach also. Pravachana. Study and teach. There is no greater tapas than this. You have to study the Veda, Swadhyaya, Pravachana. You should not give it up. Na pramaditavyam in another place also. So that is the tapas. These three things. Tapas is very, very important. The achara, one's conduct also is part of this tapas. One has to take effort to have the right conduct. So this tapasha, kalmasham, kilbisham also there is a reading. Manu 12:104. In fact, this quotation also, even this author doesn't give by himself. Bhashyakara himself quotes this in the Taittiriya Upanishad Bhashya. This tapasa kalmasham hanti is there in the Taittiriya Upanishad Shikshavali Bhashya. Bhashyakara quotes this. The same thing here, this author also is quoting. Vidyaya amrutam ashnute, like this it is there. Tapasa kalmasham hanti, vidyaya amrutam ashnute. So for a Vipra, tapas and vidya are the most important things. Like this, Manu also is saying. So Manu Smriti again is a very important Smriti for us. Some people think that Manu and all these Smritis and all we can just leave out. It is not applicable now, etc. If that is the case, then Bhashyakara, if you see, Bhashyakara quotes Manu the most. If you take the Smritis, other than Bhagavad Gita, Manu Smriti he quotes, I have seen in Taittiriya Upanishad Bhashya, Brihadaranyaka Bhashya, different Bhashyas. Of course, I have not counted and all that. I cannot give you such statistics. But in whatever, all the Bhashyas I have read, Bhashyakara does quote Manu everywhere. So, Manu Dharma Shastra should not be taken lightly. Because Bhashyakara has taken it as a pramana and he quotes it liberally. So both Shruti and Smriti are talking about all this Nitya Karma. Doing the Nitya Karma itself is one time kind of tapas only, correct? But do it with the right attitude. Nitya Karma and Upasana you have to do. Yajnana, Danena, Tapasa, Yajna, Dana, Tapah, Karma. These are very, very important for your own growth, emotional growth, for your own growth where you become a master of your likes and dislikes, and also to have a certain disposition of your mind where you are able to focus on something one-pointedly. These are all very important qualifications. Therefore, you have to do karma. There is no running away from anything. Even Arjuna wanted to run away from the battle. Battle is his duty, Bhagavan points out. And if it is your duty, you have to do it. It is one. It may be ghoram karma. Correct? Arjuna himself says, he asked a question in fact. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhi janardana tat kim karmani mam ghore. Correct? Ghore karmani krim prayojasi. Why are you asking me to do this ghora karma? You yourself are saying jnana is more or better than karma. Like this he asked. Otherwise Bhagavad Gita would have been over after the second chapter. Because Bhagavan had covered all the topics in the second chapter itself. But Arjuna asked the question. That's how third chapter started, and then it went up to 18th chapter also. He asked finally another question. Somewhat similar, in fact. And Bhagavan repeats. So Bhagavad Gita, if you see, a lot of repetition is there. That is because in Vedanta, repetition is not a problem. You have to listen to the same thing again and again. Then only you will also assimilate it. So anyway, here, all the Shrutis, Smritis, all of them are very clear. that you have to do your Nitya Naimittika Prayaschitta Karma and you have to do Upasana. There is no getting away from that. Without preparing yourself with all these things, you cannot just only do Shravana Manana and hope to understand things. Okay, so we need all the blessings. By doing karma, we are also having some punya, correct? That punya, you are not interested to go to Swarga with that punya, but that punya also can have an effect. It can aid you in gaining the knowledge also. That way also we can look at it. That way also karma is important. So, okay, even if you do not gain this Atma Jnanam, then also this Nitya Naimittika karma and Upasana are very, very important. Why? That again he quotes. So the author, he says, okay, for Atma Jnanam, I have to do all this karma. Fine. But what if I do not get this Atma Jnanam? Brashta, you become. Arjuna asked this also in the 6th chapter in Gita. What will happen to a yoga brashta? Then Bhagavan says, Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati, he says. Once you have come to this, auspicious learning, there is no durgati, there is no there is a status which is very low. You will never get a low state. Always it is either you will get a next janma in the family of yogis, he says. Yogi nama eva kule bhavati. Or you go to some nice loka and live there for a long time and all that, he says. So, doing karma, nitya naimittika, prayaschitta, upasana with the right attitude, even after that, for whatever reason, you didn't get this Atma Jnanam properly, then also the phala is good only for you. So he says, Nitya Naimitikayoho Upasananantu Avantara Phalam Pitruloka Satyaloka Praptihi. So there is Avantara Phala, means what? Side effect or whatever, not the. See, your main goal of doing all this karma with yoga buddhi is for moksha. But for whatever reason, even if you don't get moksha, still the result of that is what? You will go to nice, good loka, pitruloka. Only karma, if you do, you will go to pitruloka. But if you do along with upasana also, you go to satyaloka or brahmaloka. There Brahmaji will teach you. There is even a krama mukti we talk about. Moksha in a series of steps. Not sadhyo mukti means immediate moksha is what you gain knowledge, immediately moksha. But that self-knowledge you didn't gain with clarity for whatever reason, but you have done lot of karma, upasana, then you go to Brahmaloka, Brahmaji will teach you the same thing there. And then you gain, along with Brahmaji, you gain moksha, etc. This Krama Mukti also is talked about in the Shastra, even in Brahma Sutra also it is analyzed. Bhashyakara also has written Bhashya and all that. And even Brihadaranyaka is quoting here 1.5.16. Karmana pitrulokaha vidyaya devalokaha ityadi shrute. So you get nice loka. Or you will be born again in the family of a yogi, like Bhagavan says. Correct? And then you will have access to whatever was there previously. Tatratam buddhi soyogam labhate paurvadehikam, he says. So whatever buddhi you had in the previous deha, that continues. That anyway the Sukshma Sharira continues, correct? Only thing is we don't remember. We don't remember all our previous births and all that. Bhagavan knows. He even says that in the 4th chapter. I know everything, all the previous lives you have had, to Arjuna. But we do not know because Bhagavan is there in us as Apohana, he says. Matta Smritir Apohanam cha. I am there as your forgetfulness also, because if we remember all these things, we will not have sanity, I think. All the things which we have done over different lifetimes, it is good that it is all hidden, it is covered in one way. But at least that whatever good samskara, that is how you have all these child prodigies and all that, correct? Right from childhood, some people they are given to certain skills, certain attitudes, some knowledge, etc. That is all like this only. It is continuing from the Purva Janma. So anyway, here, even if you do not gain moksha, there is side effect is still there, correct? Which others consider as the main effect. A karmatha, the one who is only interested in karma pala, for him the main result of karma is to go to Pitraloka or Devaloka. So that is there anyway for you still. You will have hereafter, you go to a nice loka and enjoy there for a length of time. So either you gain the chitta shuddhi, chitta ekagryam and do shravana manana nididhyasana and attain moksha here and now, or whatever karma you have done, its phala will still be there. That phala is only desirable. It is not something undesirable. It is not anartha. It is part of your purushartha. Okay, you gain punya, which is called dharma. If you look at it as purushartha, that punya will take you to only sadgati, not durgati. Okay, you gain good status. So that is there. Then what? Sadhanani. What are the sadhanani? So previously we were talking about the sadhana chatushtaya sampattihi, correct? As the qualification. Who is the qualified? The adhikari. There it is said sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha, like this here. Right? Before that it is said the one who is doing all this karma, upasana and all. That's why we saw in detail what are the different types of karma, upasana and what are their phala. Now about sadhanani, sadhana chatushtaya particularly, 4 types of qualifications or means which are very important for you to become a qualified student of Vedanta. What are they? Nitya vastu viveka first. So first you should have an understanding what is the limitless or what is that which is eternal and what are non-eternal, limited. That clarity has to be there. And then based on that only all the pursuits start, correct? Because you have a certain understanding that what I really want is the limitless. Even when I am going after limited results, what I am seeking is not those limited things, but freedom from that limitation itself. Because from whichever standpoint I look at myself, I see myself as limited by something, space, time, my ability to enjoy whatever knowledge I have, everything is limited. So you want to have freedom from limitations. Means you are really looking for the limitless. So that clarity has to be there. That discrimination, that what I want is the limitless. Without that clarity and that discrimination, there is no pursuit of moksha. Moksha will not become purushartha itself. You will still be only in dharmartha kama. Correct? And 99% of the people are like that, correct? They don't even get out of the artha kama part. So for moksha to be a meaningful pursuit or the only pursuit, in fact, once it becomes meaningful, it is the only purushartha which matters. Nothing else really can even be called a purushartha. So nitya vastu viveka is very important. Then iha mutrartha phala bhoga viragaha. So once you have this clarity, you are not going to go after limited things, correct? And in fact, all that is there here or hereafter also, if you go to Swarga, everything is limited only. That means you are not really interested in all of them. You gain a certain natural dispassion is there then towards all these things. You have to become objective towards what these things can give you, the worldly pursuit or even the otherworldly pursuit of heaven, etc., what it can give and what it cannot give, that objectivity is there, means you are no more attracted by all these things, or you don't have any longing for all these things. You can still do certain things as a duty, that's all. And then you have to also prepare your antakarana, mind, because the knowledge takes place only in the mind. Understand that. Manasa eva anudrashtavyam. Upanishad itself is clear. You have to see only with your mind. This knowledge, all knowledge takes place only in the mind. Don't get confused by some people talk about supramental, transcending the mind and all that. You have to transcend the mind also only through the mind. The understanding takes place only in the mind, but not any mind. It has to be a samskrita, samskara, as it has to be mature. It has to have a certain disposition. For that, there are six-fold things again are talked about. Samadhi shatka sampatti has to be there. And then mumukshutva also is very important. The desire, in fact, the desire for moksha is the first thing, along with the nitya nitya vastu viveka, in fact, should lead to desire for moksha. From there, the other things, vairagya, and then you have to make some effort to gain all this samadhi shatka sampatti. So these are the important things. These four qualifications everybody should have who wants to be a student of Vedanta. Then only your Shravana, listening to the teaching, will have any effect. Otherwise, you can go and listen. See, many people go, Shankaracharya has come, he's giving a talk, and people go there. At least we will sit in the presence of a saintly person. It is punya. Let us listen to his words. Listening to the words itself is punya. If you go for that, you may get that punya, but you are not getting any jnana. Correct? Whatever this knowledge can give you, for getting that, you have to have prepared yourself and have all these qualifications. Then only we can really get whatever is supposed to be had by having this knowledge. So preparing oneself is the biggest thing. All the practices, all the sadhanas, different types of sadhana are there. So there can be many variations depending upon your own whatever background, what kind of birth you have had, what kind of childhood you have had, where you have grown up, in which society. These sadhanas can vary, but you have to gain these four qualifications, whichever way it is. And then you have to do Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam. Other than that, there is no other way. Knowledge alone is going to give you moksha, and you have to prepare yourself for this knowledge. That preparation can be done in many different ways. Of course, the Shastra itself is giving you a way, correct? It is saying, do your Nitya Naimitika Prayasita Karma with a certain attitude, do Upasanas. And there are practices which are coming down in your own community, in your own family. You don't have to give up all that and learn some new technique or anything like that. Understand that. Do whatever is mandated for you. Do it for a length of time. One day, if you do, nothing is going to happen. You have to keep doing. Then only the effect of that you will know. Everything has to be repeated. There is no shortcut or anything here. There is no fast food kind of a thing in Vedanta. Everybody wants some simple technique and do it for a week and then everything should fall into place. Means it's not going to work like that. So this is a long-term thing. How long you don't ask. In fact, till the time you don't ask any question, you have to keep doing. Till the time your self-transformation is permanent, sahaja, that's what we say. Naturally, how we are taking ourselves as an individual limited being, similarly, naturally, Aham Brahmasmi is natural to you. That is Sahaja. Means your self-transformation is complete. Till that time, you have to keep doing all these practices. Initially, it may be Upasana, later on it is Nididhyasana. Shravana, Manana, etc. you have to do. And if depending on in which ashrama you are there, you have to do the karma also according to that. Even if you become a sannyasi, there are some rules are there. Of course, sannyasa lifestyle is very simplified. Your roles are all given up. Only two roles you have, either a teacher or a student. But otherwise, you have so many other roles. Each role is coming with some script, and you have to go along with that. And you have to keep doing karma with the right attitude. That is the most important thing. And that will make you a qualified person. Okay, so we'll see the rest of the Sadhanani, exactly what they are. The author himself is defining. All that we'll see next week. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.